Good evening and welcome to the June 2nd council meeting. Please stand. Councilman Flores is going to lead us in the flag salute.
Good evening, everyone. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Okay. Next, we have the recognition of the Chino Cultural Foundation Student Scholarship winners. The Chino Cultural Foundation supports music, theater, and visual arts by providing scholarships to students living within the Chino Valley Unified School District. And we're pleased to recognize this year's award recipients. The Youth Arts Scholarship goes to students enrolled in music, theater, or visual arts programs and may be used for training, instrument rental to purchase equipment and materials. The Roseanne Hammond Memorial Scholarship is awarded to a student who is graduating from Buena Vista High School in Chino and will be pursuing education, training, or a career in the arts. The Gretchen Hart McCombs Memorial Music Scholarship is awarded to a graduating senior or a current college student who is enrolled in a college or university as a music education major. I'd like to call it Michelle Reinhardt, Chino Cultural Foundation board member. Will you please join me up front?
Yes, I will. Thank you. And I would like to call up two of my fellow Cultural Foundation board members, which is Michelle Zepeda and Linda Flathers. I first want to say there was two students who they were able to be recognized at the reception and had someone there to accept their awards, but they will not be here to be at the council meeting tonight. They were the two recipients of the Roseanne Hammond Memorial Scholarship, and that's Estela Acevedo and Alfonso Contreras. So I want to give them a recognition, a shout out right now. All right, we have 6 recipients of the Youth Arts Scholarships. And our first recipient is Jacob Arege. If he will come down, if you guys will come down when I call your name. Come on. Those are taken. Jacob, come on over here, honey. You're the first one.
Congratulations.
There you go. And you're just going to stand up. Yay. Our second recipient is Ogechukwu.
Congratulations.
Our next recipient is William Wong. Some of these students are in high school still, and some of them are graduating. Come on over here, honey. There you go.
Congratulations.
Our next recipient is Addison Pigman. Our next recipient is actually in a theatrical production right now over at the Chino Community Children's Theater. Something Rotten opens in a couple of weeks. Go see it. And that's Sophia Ramos. So let's give her a little, she's not here tonight because she had rehearsal. And our next recipient is out of town, so she is not here either, and that is Chloe Utterbach. So. And our last recipient is the recipient of the Gretchen Hart McCombs Memorial Music Scholarship, and that recipient is, this year's recipient is Delaney Polito. Delaney's going to be going to the University of Nevada, Reno in the fall. Okay. Do you want to stand in the middle, Madam Mayor?
No, I'll stay on the end.
Okay. Here, I don't know who any here. All right, come on.
Close in a little bit so you can reach on in.
A little bit closer.
Come on.
All right, perfect. On 3, everybody. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to you all. Okay, next we have the recognition of the Chino High School wrestling team. It's my honor this evening to recognize the Chino High School wrestling team, which has just finished an incredible season. I'd like to call up Coach Mike Samano. If you'd like to do the certificates.
Yes.
Natalie.
Okay. First one up is Natalie Blanco. Good job, Nat. Nathan Garcia. He's not with us today. He had to work. Yeah. So, hold on. Oh, okay, there you go. Zach Samano. Yeah, my son, my youngest son. Good job, Zach. Jonathan Madera. Good job, Johnny. Nathan Caldwell, and he couldn't make it this evening either. He had to work. Yeah, so we had an incredible season. Once again, records were broken in the city of Chino. Natalie Blanco is our returning state champ, and she won again. So let's hear it for him. She's not only Chino High School's first two-time state champ, but Chino Unified School District's first-time, two-time state champ, back-to-back. I believe her record was this year league champ, CIF champ, Masters champ, and state champ. So yeah, so very, very impressive. We have Zach Samano. He also broke a record. He is Chino High School's first three-time CIF champ and first time Chino High School's three-time state placer. So he also broke a record. And Johnny Madera broke his own record. He won back-to-back CIF titles. So he won that. Nathan Caldwell, that wasn't with us, is also a two-time CIF champ. And Nathan Garcia placed at CIF this year. And those two weren't here to receive their awards. Yeah, these kids, they work hard and they represent their city. Not only their school, but they represent their city with pride. And we have a saying at Chino, we're homegrown. If you know anything about sports, kids come from other cities, they leave, and we try to keep our kids here. And Chino's doing a great job of supporting us and being behind us. So we thank you guys.
Coach, we also have a certificate for you, recognizing all of your hard work with your team. I know it's been a lot of work for all of you. We're really proud of you. I know Councilman Lucio's son is also in wrestling, so I know he's very proud of the work that you've done too, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, I want to get a picture.
All right, everybody on 3, 1, 2, and 3. Perfect, thank you.
Congratulations again.
We'll take one more real quick.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations again. You're welcome. Okay. Next, it's my honor this evening to pay a special tribute to Anna Urito for her for her 35 years of service to the city of Chino. Anna, would you come up and bring your family? Come on. Oh. He's the comical one. Anna's service to Chino began in 1987 when she was a volunteer referee for youth flag football and basketball. 2 years later, She contracted with the city to serve as a scorekeeper for youth softball at Villa Park. That same year, she became a paid contractor to referee youth sports, a role she held until 2001. Anna began her career with the City of Chino on April 1st, 1991, when she was hired as a community services recreation leader. During her time with the city, she had a wide range of roles that included community services specialist, acting administrative secretary, clerk typist 1, clerk typist 2, and ultimately administrative assistant. Anna is known as a go-to resource for staff across the city and the CSPR department. Her work smarter, not harder approach has made her a dependable force behind the scenes, and her technical expertise, knowledge of citywide programs, and willingness to assist any department have made her invaluable to daily operations and special projects. Anna played a key role in several community programs by taking the lead on the installation and replacement of the Armed Forces Banner Program, creating the program's online submission form, and coordinating the military brick installations. She provided essential support for community and Kiwanis Club events that included the golf tournament, summer concerts, and the Corn Feed Run car show. Her contributions extended to the CSPR Commission, where she assisted with meeting attendance, minutes, and agenda packet preparation. Darn it. Anna ensured the department's website remained accurate and up-to-date, supported the city switchboard. We used to have switchboards. That's how long she's been with us.
That was the old plug-in one.
Yeah, the old plug-in. Like he'd laugh in, right? Oh, my goodness. And offered clerical and technical assistance to the Chino Valley Historical Society, old school. They're a little biased. Old Schoolhouse Museum, Chino Youth Museum. Nobody here? Oh, okay. Volunteer recognition dinner, Mayor's State of the City address, employee recognition and holiday luncheon, Relay for Life, corporate challenge, and countless others. Anna was a Chino Valley Historical Society board member from 2022 to 2026, where she served as secretary. She was also a member of the city's Employee Safety and Emergency Preparedness Committee from 2009 to 2026. I think we're going to fold when you're gone. We're in trouble. Anna's commitment to excellence earned her several honors, including the Kiwanis Club's Community Service Award, Chino's Employee of the Year, Community Services Department's Employee of the Year, Administration Department's Employee of the Year, Community Service Department Spirit Award, and the Community Services Department Recreation Division's Outstanding Service and Versatility Award. After 35 years of dedicated service, Anna retires, leaving behind a legacy of providing quality service to Chino residents. Anna, as you move on to your next chapter of your life, please know that your Chino family is going to greatly miss you. Now, I have a plaque for you, the coveted Chino tile, which reads, Anna Urito, the Chino City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Chino, wish to express their appreciation for your 35 years of dedicated service to the city of Chino and its residents. Now, I'd like... We have one more award. I'd like to call up Harvey Luth. Harvey from the fire department would like to present something to you too. Linda, we're in trouble. I don't know what you're going to do when she leaves. She runs everything.
I don't live that far away.
Oh, maybe you can volunteer.
Well, Anna, it's been a long time coming. I know you're looking forward to it, and I can't say it better than this recognition from the fire district, so I'll just read it. Throughout your distinguished career with the Community Services Park and Recreation Department, you have demonstrated exceptional commitment, professionalism, and dedication to serving the residents of our community. We extend our sincere gratitude for your many years of public service and commend the lasting contributions you have made to the city of Chino. Congratulations on your retirement and best wishes for continued happiness, health, and success in this exciting new chapter of your life. And as the mayor noted, you have been a huge help to the city and a huge help to the Kiwanis Club. We are so going to miss you and everything you did for us. So thank you, Anna, and best wishes on your future.
Harvey, you have to give her that. You have to give her that. You can't keep it. Anna, your turn.
All I would like to say is thank you for the many years. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Well, you know, when you're home and you get bored or you miss us, you know you can come back. I'm sure there's going to be slots you can fill.
When I get tired of him, I'll just come down here.
Thank you so much for all your years of service, and thank you for supporting her. Okay, get a picture.
One, two, and three. Perfect.
Anna's like an institution.
Right. Okay. On three. One, two, and three.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
She also rapped 15 years.
I know, isn't that crazy? You better behave yourself. She's going to be watching you. Okay, the next is the Mayor's Home Beautification Award. It's my privilege this evening to honor the Velasquez family of Cypress Avenue as the recipients of the Mayor's Home Beautification Award for the month of June. Will the family please join me up front? Bring your makeup. I have a certificate. Thank you for your continued improvement and maintenance of your home, resulting in a substantial contribution to the overall appearance of the community. And we also have a picture. Beautiful landscaping. We have 2 pen and pencil sets. We have 2 lapel pins. It just doesn't stop. And then we have the coveted yard sign to make all of your neighbors jealous. Would you like to say a few words?
A little speak English. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
On three. One, two, three. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it.
Okay, prior to the council meeting start, we had a closed session. I'd like to ask our attorney to provide a report out of that meeting.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and all those present. The City Council met in closed session as announced by the mayor and discussed the following items. Item number 1 on the closed session portion of the agenda, conference with legal counsel. 1 item of existing litigation, the matter of Negretti versus City of Chino. City Council received a briefing from attorney Linda Bauermeister, provided direction, and no further reportable action was taken. And then item number 2, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, the matter of Jennifer Martinez versus Samara Scott and City of Chino. The City Council received a briefing, provided direction, no further reportable action was taken. That concludes the report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager Wright, do we have any additions or changes to the agenda?
No changes, Mayor.
Okay. Next is public announcement. Chino in Action. First, I invite you to join us for the Chino in Action Reaching New Heights, happening this Saturday, June 6th from 10 to 2 at the Stuvey Family Park located at 16050 East Preserve Loop. Meet our dedicated city staff and learn about the hard work they do each day to keep Chino moving forward. explore a Touch a Truck showcase featuring police, public works, and Chino Valley Fire District vehicles. Enjoy activities for kids, a delicious barbecue hosted by the Chino Police Officers Association, and much more. There's a one-of-a-kind opportunity to experience your city in action from the ground to the sky. We hope to see you there. Next, we're bringing back our Chino's Summer Nights movie series happening every Friday from June 12th to July 31st, except for June 26th. This year, we're adding a special twist. Half of our summertime movies will take place at the newly opened Stuvey Family Park in the Preserve. Be sure to bring your blankets, snacks, and lawn chairs and enjoy a beautiful night under the stars, watching exciting movies the whole family will love. To learn more, please visit cityofchino.org/movies. Now, if live music is more your style, Chino Kiwanis will be bringing back its annual Concerts on the Lawn series right here at Chino City Hall. Enjoy toe-tapping live music every Thursday evening from June 11th to July 23rd, with a special performance on Friday, June 26th, as part of the Fireworks Spectacular. Join the fun. For more information, including the bands scheduled to perform, please visit cityofchino.org/concerts. And last, Independence Day is right around the corner, and I invite you to celebrate America during our 2-day fireworks spectacular on Friday, June 26th, and Saturday, June 27th at Ayala Park. Enjoy carnival rides, delicious food, information, and retail vendors, live music, and the best fireworks show in the Inland Empire on June 27th at 9 p.m. For more information, please visit cityofchino.org/FS, and we'll see you there. Next on the agenda is public communication. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council about items that do not appear elsewhere. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on an item not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, our first written request to speak is Pastor Lon Wagner from Cross Point Church. He's going to lead us in an invocation, and I invite anyone who wants to join us to please stand.
Thank you. Let's pray. Lord, I want to thank you for this great city of Chino. Thank you for the citizens, the businesses, the schools, the neighborhoods, and thank you for our leaders. You have truly blessed us with a great place to live and to work and to play. Thank you, Lord, for this nation that we live in. Thank you for the security that we experience, for the freedoms that we live with, for the prosperity of this nation. Lord, as we soon celebrate 250 years as a nation, we are so grateful for those who have gone before us, for the wisdom that designed and the ways that we are structured. We thank you for the men and women who have fought for and defended us. We thank you for those who continue to lead us, who continue to defend us, and who continue to inspire us. Lord, guard this nation. Lord, we live in challenging times, challenges nationally and internationally, but also locally. We know that there are difficult decisions that our city leaders need to make on a weekly basis. Thank you for equipping them with wisdom and with skill and with a love for this community. We know that they were chosen to lead for such a time as this, and we thank you for them. Lord, we ask that you would guide the discussions, the presentations, and the decisions made here tonight. May they be the decisions that best serve this great city. It's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Pastor. Our next written request to speak is Melissa Campani from Supervisor Hagman's office.
Well, good evening, Mayor, council members, staff, and of course, our wonderful residents. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to invite the community. First of all, I should back up a little bit. A big thank you to everyone who participated and attended Supervisor Hagman's recent open house. It was a absolutely fabulous event. County partners and also other community partners that help and serve our residents were there to display how they can help. And the ARC was there. They were able to send a team, and they brought 2 adorable kittens, and both were adopted. So it was wonderful. That is yay. Kittens need homes. So maybe next time we'll bring a few more and see if we can't help with that. Wonderful families. So pleased with that. And this is our last notice because our free document shredding event is coming up this Saturday. It will be from 9 to noon until the trucks, obviously if they reach capacity. And the location is right here at Chino City Hall. This is in partnership with the City of Chino. We do ask that you limit your shredding materials to 3 standard size filing boxes, no batteries, no CDs, no binders, no DVDs, paper really is what we're looking for. So let's get rid of those documents that shouldn't get into the wrong hands. And while we have this going on, we also have the event at the Stuvie Park where Supervisor Hagman will be attending and taking a look at that new helicopter. So lots of exciting things. If you could do both, drive on by here, get rid of the shredding, and then hop over to the park. We'll see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Next written request to speak, we have Director Gil Adako from the Chino Basin Water Conservation District.
It's been a long time since I've been here.
Has been a long time.
Yes. Honorable Mayor, Council, members of the audience, and those of you on cable TV, good evening. My name is Gilbert Aldaco. I'm with the Chino Basin Water Conservation District. The district is where we educate students of all ages, homeowners, and garden professionals. We demonstrate water-wise landscapes, and most recently, we offer native water-efficient plants to beautify your homes, and where we percolate stormwater and recycled water within our basins. I'm here today to invite you to our Chino Basin Water 101 tour on Thursday, June 25th, from 8 a.m. to noon. I have invitations. I think they were passed out there. Thank you. At this Chino Basin Water 101 tour, you'll get a behind-the-scenes peek into how our recharge basins function and why they are important. The Chino Basin aquifer is replenished by our recharge basins that contribute 50% of the water supplied to your homes. Additionally, later this summer, we'll be hosting our first ever WaterWise Academy. We invite the civic-minded community members to benefit from a 3-day interactive workshop on how water works within the Chino Basin. Both events will be held at the district facilities located at 4594 San Bernardino Street, Montclair. I will leave invitations that describe both events and encourage all to attend. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here, Gil.
I will leave these here. Thank you.
Now, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address an item that's not on the agenda? Now, we have a tradition here, and that is if we have a student attending for class credit or whatever, they're invited to come up, give us your name, your school, your teacher, and the class that you're taking and why you're here. So I know we have at least one student in the audience.
All right, so my name's Andrew Panera. I actually moved to Pomona 2 years ago, so I'm a little new to California. Right now I'm attending an American government class at Mount SAC, and so this is kind of like my final project. I show up to some sort of meeting, right, that's happening locally and try to get more involved, so that's what I'm here for. Oh, my professor is Sierra Vane. Okay. Apparently she's a part of some sort of committee with teachers and education, but I'm not exactly sure what that is. But yeah, happy to be here to learn.
Well, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Cool.
See, he almost wasn't going to come up. Okay, last call. Anyone in the audience that would like to address the council? Okay, then we'll move on to our consent calendar. I'm going to pull item number 2 because we had 2 council members that were attending ICSC. Does any council members want any of the other items pulled? Okay, seeing none, then I would take a motion in a second. Motion from Councilmember Lucio. Second from Mayor Pro Tem Burton. Please vote. And the balance passes unanimously. Item number 2 are the minutes from the May 19th meeting. Councilmember Lucio and Burton were absent. Can I have a motion and a second?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Motion from Councilmember Lucio Flores.
I'll make the second, Mayor.
And
Thank
a
you.
second from Councilmember Comstock. Please vote. Item passes yes with, should be 2 abstentions. Okay. Now moving on under public hearings, Prior to the vote of the City Council, any member of the public will be invited to address the council on these items. Item number 15, Assembly Bill 2561, Annual Public Hearing on City of Chino Job Vacancies and Recruitment and Retention Efforts. I'm going to declare the public hearing open and ask for a staff report from Crystal Murillo, Deputy Director of Human Resources Risk Management, and Terry Doyle, our Director of Human Resources and Risk Management.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, and members of the public. Tonight, we will be presenting the City of Chino's annual vacancy report in compliance with Assembly Bill 2561. As part of the public hearing, we will be providing an overview of the City of Chino's vacancy rates and recruitment efforts during this fiscal year. Before we discuss the city's vacancy rates, we wanted to provide a refresher on Assembly Bill 2561. AB 2561 went into effect on January 1, 2025 under California Government Code Section 3502.3. The purpose of this legislation is to address the widespread issue of job vacancies in California's public sector and the resulting impact on public services. AB 2561 created a new requirement for public agencies like the City of Chino to publicly address the status of job vacancies as well as recruitment and retention efforts. This transparency is intended to help strengthen the public workforce and support improved service delivery to our community. Under Assembly Bill 2561, the city must hold a public hearing once each fiscal year to present the status of job vacancies. The city is also required to track and report on vacancies, identify any changes to policies or procedures that may hinder the hiring process, and highlight any potential solutions to address these challenges. And lastly, each bargaining unit has the opportunity to make their own presentation during the public hearing. Under AB 2561, if a bargaining unit's vacancy rate exceeds 20% of its authorized full-time positions, the union may also request additional information from the city. Information that can be requested includes the total number of vacancies in the bargaining group, the number of applications received, the average number of days it takes to complete the hiring process, and discussions around potential improvements to compensation or working conditions. We are pleased to report that as of May 28, 2026, all of the city's bargaining units and employee groups are below the 20% vacancy threshold. As shown in the highlighted data, vacancy rates across the city range from 0% to 13%, with the highest rate being in the deputy directors group. Overall, the city continues to maintain stable staffing levels, and we remain committed to actively filling current vacancies. Although the city is not exceeding the 20% vacancy threshold in any employee group, we still wanted to provide the City Council and the public with an overview of key statistics and recruitment efforts from this past fiscal year. Over the course of the year, we conducted 47 full-time recruitments, screened more than 7,058 applications, coordinated 68 interview processes, onboarded 24 new full-time employees, and processed 38 internal promotions. Additionally, our job fair participation increased from 2 events in the previous fiscal year to 6 events this year, including events hosted by the Chino Valley Chamber of Commerce, Chaffey College, and Cal State San Bernardino, which drew between 45 to 100 attendees. As we look ahead to the next fiscal year, our goal is to continue improving our hiring process. This includes maintaining strong communication and collaboration with each city department to effectively fill vacancies. We will also keep evaluating the effectiveness of the city's recruitment and retention incentives, particularly as we enter the upcoming round of negotiations with our bargaining groups. And finally, we will continue partnering with all city departments and the budget team to monitor vacancy rates as part of our ongoing assessment of workforce needs. And this concludes the public hearing, the vacancy report for fiscal year 2025 to 26, and we are available to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing, turn it over to council. Any comments or questions? Comments or questions? Okay. I would entertain a motion in a second, please.
I'll make a motion, Mayor.
I'll second.
Motion from Councilman Flores, second from Councilmember Lucio. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Item number 16, public hearing for 2025 Urban Water Management Plan and Water Shortage Contingency Plan. I'd like to declare the public hearing open and request a staff report from our Deputy Director of Public Works and Services, Benjamin Orozco, and our Director of Public Works, Hygen Lee.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Every 5 years, urban water suppliers are required to update and adopt an urban water management plan in accordance with the California Urban Water Management Planning Act of 1983. In addition, state legislation requires urban water suppliers to prepare a water shortage contingency plan to address potential drought conditions and supply shortages. The Urban Water Management Plan evaluates the city's long-term water supply reliability and its ability to meet existing, future, and water demands under normal, single dry year, and multiple-year conditions. Based on the analysis completed as part of the Urban Water Management Plan, the city is projected to maintain adequate and reliable water supplies through 2050 under normal, single dry year, and multiple-year conditions. The Water Shortage Contingency Plan was added to the Urban Water Management Planning Act in 2018 and establishes a framework for responding to water shortages and emergency supply disruptions. The plan requires urban water suppliers to evaluate water supply reliability, identify response actions, develop supply strategies, conduct annual water supply assessments, and plan for natural disasters or infrastructure failures. These requirements help ensure the city can continue to provide reliable water service during changing water supply conditions and emergency situations. The city's water supply portfolio includes local groundwater, imported water, and recycled water supplies. Maintaining a diversified water supply portfolio helps improve long-term reliability, reduces dependence on any single source, and provides flexibility to meet future water demands and changing water supply conditions. In addition to reliable water supplies, the city continues to promote water conservation and efficient water use. The city previously met the state's water conservation target of 189 gallons per capita per day by achieving 169 gallons per capita per day in 2020. The current water use is approximately 143 gallons per capita per day, reflecting continued improvements in water conservation and efficiency. The city is also working towards meeting the state's new water use efficiency mandates under Making Conservation a California Way of Life, which evaluates water use across multiple categories, including indoor residential, outdoor irrigation use, commercial, industrial, and institutional use, and system water loss. Annual reporting under this framework began in 2024, and the city continues to evaluate and implement strategies to meet future water use objectives. In Chapter 8 of the Urban Water Management Plan contains the city's water shortage contingency plan. The plan establishes 6 shortage levels ranging from up to a 10% shortage to shortages exceeding 50%. Each level includes specific response actions and conservation measures that can be implemented as conditions warrant. The plan also includes communication protocols, conservation requirements, and response procedures designed to maintain water supply reliability and protect public health and safety. Together, these plans provide the framework for maintaining a reliable water supply, meeting state requirements, and preparing for future drought and water shortage conditions. Following the closure of the public hearing, staff recommends the approval of resolution number 2026-034, adopting the 2025 Urban Water Management Plan and the 2025 Water Shortage Contingency Plan, along with additional recommendations included in the staff report. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, first, I'd like to ask if there's any questions from the audience. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Ben, could you go back to the chart where it shows the different percentages of water shortage? Back one more. Number 3, if the shortage is up to 30%, we have to suspend portable water service to new development?
Yeah.
So what if the project is already underway? What if it's already legally allowed?
I think it would be anything, if we're at 30%, any new thing coming in, any new development coming in would be no water supply. We
So it would
would
be-
deny them under no water supply conditions.
So it would be a moratorium
Yes.
on any new development?
Yeah.
Single homes or big projects?
Ones that are not online.
Interesting, okay. Have we ever reached the 30% level?
Not in my career, no.
Okay, so it's pretty bad. Council questions or comments? Okay, then I would entertain a motion and a second. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Burton, second from Councilmember Lucio. Please vote. It doesn't show. Does yours show? It's not coming up. Oh, there it is. Okay. Who are we missing? Okay. Item passed unanimously. Item number 17, under new business, establishment of a new capital improvement program project and award of a professional services agreement to HR Green Pacific Incorporated for engineering design services. Our staff report this evening will be provided by our CIP engineering manager, Michelle Chapman, and our director of public works, Hajan Lee.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This evening, I'll be introducing a new capital improvement project scheduled for construction next fiscal year. To keep the project on track for completion in fiscal year 26-27, we are requesting authorization to begin the design phase in this current fiscal year. The City of Chino uses a pavement management system to evaluate the condition of each street. This includes assessing surface distresses, structural strength, and other field data. Each street segment receives a pavement condition index score, which guides our repair priorities. We then group annual pavement projects by the city's quadrant-based capital improvement zones, which you see here on the screen. By focusing on one quadrant each year, we reduce contractor travel times, increase efficiency, and gain economies of scale. This cyclical approach ensures we distribute resources fairly and maintain our roadway network in a consistent and cost-effective way. Earlier this fiscal year, we completed design for the Zone 1 pavement improvements, and that project is currently out to bid. We intend to award a construction contract in July. Tonight, we are requesting authorization to begin design for the Zone 2 pavement improvement project. So we're looking at the purple grouping here. So we've zoomed in here, now you see it on the left. This is Zone 2. We're specifically looking at Chino Avenue and Edison Avenue. Shown in orange is Chino Avenue, in red is Edison Avenue. For Chino Avenue, we're specifically looking at the area between Magnolia Avenue and Cypress Avenue, and then for Edison, between Cypress Avenue and Euclid Avenue. Chino Avenue received a slurry seal in 2022. However, one segment was deferred at the time due to a utility project. That deferred segment is now included in the Zone 2 pavement improvements design. Edison Avenue, shown in red, has a PCI score in the mid-40s, and it serves as one of the city's heavily traveled truck routes. Because of its condition and its importance as a heavily traveled corridor, Edison is included in this scope. For both streets, the project will include pavement rehabilitation as well as reconstruction of curb ramps to bring the curb ramps to compliance with Americans with Disabilities Act guidelines. So now we're going to take a closer look specifically at Chino Avenue. You can see the current condition of the roadway on your screen now. We have also that pavement condition index bar where you can see from a color scheme where this is at in relation to a 0 to 100 score. So for Chino Avenue, it has a lower PCI in the range of low 50s. It has substantial utility cuts and requires restoration. We plan to complete the pavement design of this segment with in-house engineers. Additionally, 4 curb ramps have been identified, as you see on the screen there at the intersection. On that south side, you have two corners that will have updated curb ramps. The ones on the north side have already been completed. Those two corners will be completed with the design contract that we are bringing before you today with HR Green. Here we take a closer look at Edison Avenue. It currently shows a lower PCI score in the low 40s. The segment has experienced more extensive wear, including pothole repairs and digouts. That's what you're seeing a lot of in these locations. So a lot of our maintenance has been going out there and trying to make restoration for areas that have extended wear and tear. The upcoming design will address these structural needs and ultimately include a rubberized asphalt top cap in addition to significant reconstruction of the roadway. So the rubberized asphalt top cap provides a strong structural performance, and it also helps reduce noise. It's sound dampening. This is an important benefit given that it's truck traffic traveling in this corridor that is adjacent to residential properties. The city successfully secured a Cal Recycle grant to fund a portion of that rubberized asphalt component, and that part is supported by the state's initiative to reuse California-sourced recycled tires. The consultant HR Green will prepare the ADA curb ramp designs and the overall pavement improvement plans. We anticipate the design phase will take approximately 6 months, so we want to get underway as soon as possible, which is why we're bringing this to your attention prior to the next fiscal year. Construction is anticipated to be advertised for bids in early 2027 with a spring start to construction.
Stuff he's going to say is not ADA compliant.
So with your approval, staff recommends the following. Establish CIP project ST263, which is pavement improvement zone 2, includes Edison Avenue and Chino Avenue as indicated in the map we saw earlier. Appropriate $200,000 from the Road Maintenance and Rehabilitation Fund, that's the RMRA SB1 funds. Award a PSA professional services agreement with HR Green for $199,568 for engineering design services, and then authorize the city manager to execute all necessary documents on behalf of the city. I wanted to go ahead and ask if you have any questions. Please go ahead. I'm here to answer.
First, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Seeing none. Questions from council?
Yeah. So on Edison, it's heavily traveled. Are you guys going to completely shut that down, or are you guys just going to do a couple lanes, and how are you guys going to do that?
So we would do lane closures. Right now, we're just assigning the design contract, but absolutely phasing will be part of that discussion. This depends on the depth of the work. We wouldn't shut it all the way down. That's not something we would typically do for something of this magnitude. We could work by lane. There's definitely more discussions that will come as we find out the recommendation treatment for the roadway.
Now, I know that we still haven't made a final decision, but I know Lennar is supposed to be giving us, or potentially designing, an equestrian overpass there. But we're thinking about not moving forward with that and having them redesign the fountain. But do we have to bring that situation first before you guys start designing this?
So the designs that we're looking at, and just to see on the screen here, we have Cypress. If we look at the intersection on that top right corner, the pedestrian access is something that we're including as part of this project. So we are stopping asphalt improvements just shy at Cypress, but the work that is going to be completed for pedestrian improvements will tie in the crossing so that you can get back to the sidewalk in just adjacent to it. Currently, we have that driveway access point that impedes the ability to get from the sidewalk with an ADA compliant access. So that is an improvement we'll be taking care of with this project and will be designed as part of this. Anything beyond this intersection, we are stopping intentionally at this intersection so that any improvements on the development side, not specific to Lennar, but for any other development west of Cypress, can be included at a later point in time. So the crossing will not be an element of this project, and it wouldn't be a part of this.
Yeah.
But is this something that we need to decide and say we're going to not have Lennar build what they were supposed to build, and then are we supposed to decide that before this project starts?
No, this wouldn't impede that. So what this would allow for is it would allow pedestrian access. It would not be now we've made a decision one way or another. This is a access that has been identified for us as a impedance, and we are trying to address that.
Be separate.
It doesn't impact the condition, and also reviewing a lot of the documents that were part of the SunCal development in Lennar. Lennar, the trail was not a condition on any of the SunCal documents. It was apparently a separate discussion that was added on later. And now that we have negotiated for Lennar to do the fountain and the art component at the Oaks and the entrance, we could forego the condition that was undocumented, technically, as a condition for Lennar to continue with the trail. We did a count on the trail and for like 2 weeks, and there was 0 horses on that trail.
During the workshop, I had requested that instead of doing that whole thing, that they just rough up the cement, in case in the future if there are any horses that need to go there.
Okay, that's a good feedback. Thank you.
Kurt?
Would the improvements there enhance the walkability there at Cypress and Edison as well? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So the access, it may be hard to see in this photo, but you're looking probably at that top corner there where you see the driveway. That's an access point. That driveway would no longer be depressed in such a way that you would meander from the sidewalk down. You would be able to stay in plane as you went around. So it's sending that walkway to the back. So it's a readjustment of that driveway.
And the crosswalk there, that would all be redone and everything would be set up in that area at Cypress and Edison?
The current crossing would just be reestablished. It wouldn't be, there actually is no crossing at this point. This point doesn't cross there. So that driveway is truly acting as a driveway for maintenance. This wouldn't add an access or add a new route, pedestrian route that doesn't already exist. This just allows for current pedestrians to be able to have a safe maneuver as they go through.
Right. From east-west on the south side.
Correct.
But if people wanted to cross there on Edison, where you're doing the work, could we add a crosswalk to allow that into a walking trail that hopefully will be enhanced eventually on the east side of the street, on the east side of Cypress?
So the intent for this project is to allow for future projects to take that consideration into account. So what we open ourselves up to in the future is perhaps a grant that would allow us to make those connections, the pedestrian connections from that Cypress connection, because right now you don't have the connectivity north on Cypress. So what this would allow is us to make the improvements in place now so that a future project could connect to this later. Because this is intended to just be a pavement improvement project.
I understand. I'm just thinking, since we're doing it now, if we could add that into that,
it would
make a lot of sense.
It would take further consideration for the traffic impacts, the pedestrian access. There
I'd like
would
you
be
to
more
look
studies.
I'd like you to look into that. And the other question I have is, when do you anticipate, if this is approved, when do you anticipate starting both projects up on Chino Avenue and on Edison?
So this is going to be combined for construction. So that construction bid set would go out in early of next year. So that was looking at a construction start in spring with a construction wrapped by summer.
So it would go out in spring of next year, or it
Be
would
awarded in
start?
spring. It would be awarded in spring.
So
that we
does
can
that
start
mean that's the
construction.
start time?
Yes.
Okay, spring of next year.
2027. Mayor Pro Tem, I want to address your inquiry regarding the crosswalk. And I want our Dennis Ross, our city traffic engineer, to come and address that, because we have done some analysis on the walkability and accessibility for trails and pedestrian.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. So, as the council is aware, that northeast corner at Cypress and Edison is unimproved currently. There is just north of that, there's a termination of a trail that's adjacent to the flood channel. We had applied for some grant and funding to help get that designed and hopefully eventually constructed. Unfortunately, that didn't work out for us. We are looking at other opportunities. I am happy to announce that we just got another grant for an active transportation plan, which will update our 2016 Bike and Ped Master Plan. We're getting that from the state of California, $500,000 to do that plan. That will help us prioritize our pedestrian and bike improvements. And so we'll be looking at that. Certainly, I think what Michelle is referring to is with the project that we have at hand, we'll make sure that the design is such that we don't preclude ourselves from having to reconstruct anything in the future if we decide to add the crossing in the future.
That's all I was asking, and I know that the property there on the northwest corner of Cypress and Edison has been sold. There's plans to put about 55 homes or something in there. Now would be a good time to just get ready and ramp everything up so everything connects when those homes are done.
And that development will build sidewalk along the west side of Cypress all the way down to Edison.
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions, Karen?
So I have the same concerns that Kurt has shared, some of the questions that Mark has shared. My first question is this. When we go to collect the money from the state of California and do improvements to Euclid Avenue, I do think we should consider cement in those intersections as we've already done along Euclid Avenue. Number one, I just think that's something that this council should maybe talk about at another time. But I'm almost wondering, like at this project, even though it may be a little bit of an inconvenience, might want to come back to the infrastructure committee, because I agree with the comments that Councilmember Burton has made about potentially adding connectivity across the street, even though our traffic engineer said, hey, listen, that development coming in can pay for it at a later time, but that's going to be a long time away. So I don't understand why we wouldn't consider actually doing those improvements right now and then just collecting the money from the development as improvements that we've already constructed. So those are things I think might just be worthy of us speaking of tonight, and maybe even coming back to an infrastructure committee meeting to just talk that out before we take this project. I know that's a little bit of a delay, but I just throw that out there for the council's consideration.
No, I agree. Piggyback off of that. I mean, there's a trail that we've developed in the community north of there where the Edison Eastman is. And eventually we want to connect that. And then the walking trails also connect on the south side that leads you all the way through College Park and into the Ayala Park. To not give those people access coming off that trail in the future to be able to come down and go into a sidewalk and then just cross the street. Now they have to go all the way down to San Antonio to do that. I think it only makes sense if we're going to remove 4 inches of gravel from that location, why not do the design and get that done while we're doing this?
Sorry.
No problem. We will definitely look into that. The budget-wise, we have just enough money to do these pavement improvement project, the extension, and perhaps if we actually add an element of trail, we might have to upgrade our traffic signal, which is substantial sum of money. And that's one of the reasons why we're looking after some kind of a trail grant that Dennis had mentioned. That's separate from a pavement project.
And then to piggyback off of what Councilwoman Comstock said, we already know that when these trucks are fully loaded and they come to a stop at the stop sign or the signals, and then they get up and going, it doesn't matter if it's rubberized asphalt, they still dig in and dig it out, and that's the problems that we've been having there. Why we wouldn't do it concrete where we know it's going to last us longer. I mean, I know it's going to cost more, but at the end of the day, that's why our road is in the condition it's in currently, is because of all the truck travel that we have there.
There's some benefits to concrete, like durability. However, concrete tends to be noisy, and residents do not like the noise component of concrete. So we were trying to be mindful of the fact that we have residential improvements on both sides of the street. We wanted to choose a material that will be satisfactory with the noise component of the for residents' sake. So yes, certainly we could consider the concrete, but I think we will get complaints that it'll be too noisy.
Considering the transition from the asphalt to concrete.
Do we get a lot of complaints about potholes as a result of trucks? I mean, it's like which one do we pick? Do we pick a road that gets messed up or easier, or do we pick noise?
And typically, even if we were to do a concrete pavement, we would typically do it at the intersection, not the whole mid-link.
Correct, but you got the intersection at Cypress, you got the intersection at San Antonio, then you got the intersection at Fern, and then you got the intersection at Edison. You got 4 intersections within maybe a quarter mile. And those things are constantly stopping and starting and stopping and starting. That's why the conditions are so bad. There's so many intersections at such a small area.
So I recommend what you guys are trying to do on this project with the budget that we currently have. And I want to thank you for this presentation. And I would just recommend tonight that we get right back on, get this on the infrastructure committee, agenda as soon as possible. Let the infrastructure kind of vet it through you guys and staff and see if we can turn it back around and come back to the council with some recommendations on it. I just think there's work there that could be done. That's going to enhance the walkability and potentially maybe address some of Councilmember Lucio and Burton's concerns as we move forward. But that's just my recommendation, but I'm open to anything the council wants to do.
Hey, Jen, I also have a question about the rubberized asphalt. I know heavy trucks stopping can sometimes, especially in the summertime, cause divots in regular asphalt and push it out. I would think that the rubberized asphalt would be even more susceptible when trucks are stopping to move it.
Actually, they're not. They're actually more durable. And we are planning on using higher grade binder so that it doesn't do that. So obviously, yes, concrete might be a better choice for that, but we're planning on using much higher grade material than what was used in the past.
Yeah, I know Ontario put quite a bit of money on Euclid in their big intersections for heavy trucks, making it all asphalt, all cement, which made sense because trucks just tear up roads so badly. So, yeah, does anybody have a problem with it going to the infrastructure committee and then coming back? Okay, then we would like to have that happen.
Thank you.
So I don't think we need to actually take a position on this right now.
Unless there's any objection to tabling it or referring it to the infrastructure committee, you may proceed.
We'll refer it and bring it back. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Item number 18, approve an amendment number 5 with Canon Corporation doing business as Penco for additional general plan check services in the amount of $200,000. Our report this evening will be provided by our Assistant City Engineer, Jesus Plasencia, and our Director of Public Works, Hajan Lee.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Canon Corporation is one of the city's on-call consultants that provides plan check and other related engineering services. The current agreement with Canon was originally approved in June 2023 and is now in its final extension year. For the current fiscal year, the contract amount was authorized at $400,000. However, in April of this year, as part of the mid-year budget update, the City Council approved a 4th amendment increasing the contract by $150,000 due to increased plan check activity that was observed earlier in the fiscal year. Since that time, several large and complex development projects have been submitted for review, resulting in additional workload and a continued need for specialized plan check services. Canon has consistently provided the city with high-quality reviews, technical expertise, and timely turnaround times. As a result, staff is requesting approval of a 5th amendment to the agreement with Canon, increasing the contract amount by an additional $200,000. This will allow Canon to continue providing plan check services through the end of the fiscal year on June 30th and help ensure the development reviews continue to be processed efficiently without delays. Please note that the cost of these additional services is fully offset by plan check fees collected by the Public Works Department. These fees are structured to recover both city and consultant costs associated with providing plan review services. Therefore, these increased consultant costs are the result of higher than anticipated plan check activity, which also generated additional plan check revenue for the city. That concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jesus. Anyone in the audience like to ask questions about this item or have comments? Seeing none, council comments? And I would entertain a motion and a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Motion from Councilmember Lucio.
I'll second, Mayor.
Second from Councilmember Flores. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Item number 19, introduction of ordinance number 2026-004, amending Chapter 10.56 of the Chino Municipal Code. This is to address the introduction of an ordinance amending Chapter 10.56 to address bicycles, electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and regulated mobility devices. Staff report this evening will be provided by our Lieutenant Ted Olson and our City Traffic Engineer Dennis Rawls.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight, staff is requesting the introduction of an ordinance to update the city's bicycle and e-bike regulations. The proposed ordinance establishes clear safety standards, modernizes outdated code sections, strengthens accountability for repeat violations, and supports education efforts aimed at improving compliance and reducing injuries. So background, over the last few years, Chino has experienced a significant increase in the use of e-bikes and other micro-mobility devices. While these devices provide transportation and recreational benefits, we've also seen an increase in unsafe riding behavior, particularly among juveniles. Our current code was not designed to address many of the devices and issues we are experiencing today. This ordinance modernizes Chapter 1056 by providing clear regulations, practical enforcement tools, and an emphasis on education and accountability. So why we want to update the code. So currently, e-bike and mobility devices, as I mentioned in the previous slide, has increased throughout Chino and also the region. Our current Chapter 1056 primarily focuses on outdated bicycle licensing requirements, and the existing language does not adequately address e-bikes, scooters, modified devices, or the unsafe operation of those devices. The update preserves lawful recreation and transportation while giving clearer safety rules. So what we're trying to prevent is the unsafe riding in school zones, parks, roadways, residential neighborhoods, and shopping centers. Group riding that creates hazards or blocks pedestrian travel, stunt riding, riding against traffic, unsafe speeds, and unlawful passengers, and modified or high-powered devices that are being operated as if they were lawful e-bikes. So California Vehicle Code 21206 gives cities the authority to regulate the operation of bicycles on means such as bicycle facilities such as sidewalks. So what our proposed ordinance changes is it will update the definitions to align with the California Vehicle Code. It defines unsafe operation standards for bicycles, e-bikes, scooters, boards, and other similar devices. And it'll address sidewalks, parks, trails, school zones, and shared use pathways. And it provides administrative citations, safety course diversion, parental accountability, and lawful impound tools. And it will remove outdated mandatory bicycle registration requirements. We knew this would be a source of concern, but what we are proposing is the ability to allow such devices on sidewalks. Our idea is that we need to balance pedestrian safety with the practical transportation needs. And many kids and families ride on sidewalks currently to avoid busy traffic lanes. And some areas of Chino do not have designated bike facilities. And this proposal is limited sidewalk access with clear restrictions, not unrestricted riding. So why limited sidewalk access? It avoids forcing inexperienced riders into vehicle traffic where no bike lane exists. It preserves a safer option for younger riders traveling to school within neighborhoods, and it protects pedestrians through speed, yielding, and unsafe operation provisions. And it also gives the city flexibility to restrict locations through signage when conditions require it. Just want to make some important clarifications that this ordinance does not create unrestricted sidewalk riding. Bike lane corridors, if they are present, would prohibit the sidewalk riding. And state law still applies, and the city still retains authority to post additional restrictions where appropriate. It also defines authority to enforce when necessary. So what we're proposing is that there is a sidewalk speed limit of no more than 8 miles per hour when no pedestrians are present. So in high pedestrian areas or where there are pedestrians or similar areas, it's 5 miles an hour. And riders must yield to pedestrians to provide an audible warning before passing. And unsafe or reckless operation remains prohibited regardless of posted speed, and all riding must remain reasonable and prudent for conditions. So what remains prohibited? Riding against traffic or ignoring traffic control devices, carrying unlawful passengers or towing, clinging to vehicles, stunt riding, racing, speed contests, or unsafe group riding, operating in posted prohibited areas, landscaped areas, sports fields, playgrounds, or public facilities. And one other thing is tampering or modifying a device so that it no longer qualifies as a lawful e-bike or device. So we're also proposing education before enforcement, a 30-day public education period before active enforcement begins. This would consist of outreach through schools, parent groups, retailers, social media, and city messaging. And we did create a safety course diversion that may be used in lieu of a fine or citation when appropriate. And for juveniles, the preferred starting point is education, parental notification, and correction. There's a parent accountability component, which parents or legal guardians may be cited when they knowingly permit the unsafe riding behavior. The ordinance does not impose strict liability on parents without knowledge of those violations. It encourages supervision and safe riding habits. Focus remains on education, cooperation, and corrective behavior, and provides another tool before serious injuries occur. Enforcement authority and impound, it provides clear enforcement tools currently missing from our existing codes. It targets reckless operation and illegally modified devices, and it gives us impound authority tied directly to state law, and it allows removal of unlawful or unsafe electric vehicles. We feel that this is a balanced and common sense approach because it defines the rules, it protects the pedestrians and neighborhoods, it supports safe transportation and recreation, it aligns with current California law, and provides officers with the practical enforcement tools. And lastly, prioritizes education, safety, and accountability. So our recommended action is that this ordinance provides the city with a balanced approach to improving safety, establishing clearer operational standards, emphasizing education, and addressing unsafe e-bike and micro-mobility behavior within our community. So for those reasons, we recommend that the City Council introduce the ordinance tonight.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the council on this item? Okay, I'm going to turn it over to council questions and comments. I'll start from the left. Chris, do you have anything?
Not.
Mark?
I've had a conversation with you, Ted. I don't like the sidewalk thing. And I'll tell you, I think once we, as a city, because in the vehicle code, it doesn't say sidewalks can be on this, bicycles can be on the sidewalk. But I think if we as a city say it's okay if you ride the bike on a sidewalk and somebody gets injured as a result of walking and somebody hits them with a bike, I think it opens up the city to liability because we said it was okay to ride that bike on the sidewalk. And the reality is the deep pockets aren't with the person riding the bike, especially if it's a minor. The deep pockets are with the city. And some attorney's gonna argue that by us allowing them to be on the sidewalk, we share some responsibility in that. I do agree we have to obviously target the kids that are riding fast on the sidewalk. And like I told you, I think if we leave it open to an interpretation by a police officer with the spirit of the law and the letter of the law, if you see some young kid riding his bicycle on a sidewalk because riding on the street might not be practical and it might be dangerous for him, well, that's the officer's discretion. But I think once we put it in black and white and we indicate that it's okay for everyone to ride bicycles on the sidewalk. I think we open ourselves up. I think I'd rather leave it with the police officer to make that discretion or that call in the field, as opposed to put it in an ordinance where we say it's okay. And that's my feeling.
Kurt?
I would agree with Councilmember Lucio. I don't like having the verbiage in there that we are allowing them to ride on the sidewalk. That opens us up for all kinds of liability issues. This is long overdue. Obviously, we've discussed this time and time again at these meetings. These kids and also adults are out there stunt riding up and down our streets and creating a very, very dangerous environment for a lot of people, motorists and other pedestrians, walking, and other bicyclists. But I do appreciate the work that you put into this, Lieutenant, and it's something that we need. The education component of this, how would we start all that? Just information and water bills and just what kind
It would be a whole campaign. We would utilize our community service or community outreach team to get the messaging out, flyers. One thing I didn't talk about, and it wasn't in my slides, is that there are Mark, you had mentioned Yorba Linda, but there are several cities that work with their school districts, and they have a mandatory e-bike training class that they have to attend. So if they choose to ride an e-bike to school, if their parents are buying them an e-bike and would like that to be their means of transportation to and from school, they have to attend a mandatory 2-hour e-bike safety course with a parent. So for example, the city of Huntington Beach has that because they have a massive e-bike problem. And they have seen great success with that program because it not only educating the child on the laws, but it's also letting the parents know that should your kids break these rules, that you are subject to, being cited yourself. And so they've seen a lot of, my son is one of those who attends a school in Huntington Beach, and he had to attend that course with my wife. So that's another thing that we're looking at, another avenue of education. But there's also, I mentioned a diversion course, and that diversion course would be that same program that should a child be cited for one of those violations, in lieu of paying that fine, they could attend our diversion course, which would be put on by our motor officers. It's actually a post-approved course that our officers have to go through to get certified in order to teach that course. And the city of Huntington Beach puts that on. But that's just a couple of examples of what we would do. But I think getting this message out, we would have more success by working with the district, because that's where you're going to encounter most of those kids that are riding those bikes.
So looking at the issue analysis portion of this, there's 3 different classes that we've got listed here, 1 through 3. First of which, Class 1, pedal assist up to 20 miles an hour. Class 2 is throttle assist up to 20 miles an hour. The Class 3 is pedal assist up to 28 miles an hour, but those operators on those e-bikes have to be at least 16 years old. They all have to wear helmets. My concern is, are we allowing an 8-year-old kid to hop on a throttle assist and be able to go 20 miles an hour down the road? Is that a word?
Believe it or not, there are parents out there who have purchased those devices for kids that age.
Even 5 years old? I mean, where do we, it goes back to the parent. Yes, I understand that, but
I would say yes.
I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned.
Well, I think those standards that you're reading in the staff report are actually established by the state and by the e-bike association themselves.
Okay.
So those have been, they're standardized, how they classify the bikes.
That's awfully fast.
It is, yeah, it is. But I'm just saying that's how they were classified when I don't know who certifies them, but those are the 3 classifications of the bikes.
Those were defined
Standardized.
in the vehicle code.
Yeah.
It's Class 1, 2, and 3.
So I agree with all the comments that have been made here tonight. I'm not a fan of the bicycle riding. I think we use good discretion in police officers since, for as long as I've known, as to, use good judgment as to sidewalk riding for families with children, with kids with, training wheels or whatever. So I I'm not a fan, I don't see enough compelling reasons to let it unless the chief is getting ready to add something right here that we haven't thought about, so.
No, and that's obviously we put in there, and we went off of a lot of the newer, the cities that have implemented these newer municipal codes specifically related to e-bikes, and they added the sidewalk. But by all means, if that's council's desire, we will make that modification.
I think if anything, like, that's causing the problem, like these bikes going on the sidewalk and colliding with pedestrians in certain areas. I understand what these guys are saying, hey, we're gonna, you just don't have to go any further than any boardwalk, any place that says, hey, you can't ride your bike any faster than the speed. Well, there's nobody out there enforcing those speeds, there's nobody out there enforcing the speed on the sidewalk. I can't see that. I can't see saying, hey, it's gonna be 5 miles per hour to school area and just 8 miles per hour in general on the sidewalk.
Sure. So we take that. I guess my question would be then for Fred, we can remove that portion out the municipal code, and really now it's going to come down to council's preference. I know Councilman Lucio, we moved on this really quickly to try to get it done and implemented by summertime. We can send it all back, come back in 2 weeks, but then we're now backed up against 2 weeks later for this to be implemented, or we can maybe remove that portion out of this.
I'm good with it as long as we take out the sidewalks.
So I have two related comments. I guess one is a question. You're saying remove the provision that allows
Them to ride on the
e-bikes
sidewalks.
to be on sidewalks.
Right.
But would you want an actual affirmative clause that prohibits it?
It's already
No,
prohibited by the
It's already
village code.
prohibited.
Just remove the
Just remove
verbiage
the
of
verbiage that
sidewalk.
allows it.
Right, just to clarify the city's position on that, you're just saying to remove that, but, so that addresses the first question. The second point is that the authority to ride on a sidewalk is kind of sprinkled throughout this ordinance. It's not that, just that one section, as the lieutenant mentioned. There's a section that talks about allowable speed within a sidewalk, which varies if pedestrians are present. So
We would take all that out.
I think we have to make
redact all that.
some tweaks, and I'd hate to do it on the fly here. I'm happy to do it, but it'd be best to bring it back just to make sure we cover all the points. Whatever the council desires, I'll do the best I can.
I think we do it the right way. I think we pull it out. I know it's going to put us a little bit behind, but I think that it would be prudent for us to do that. It's reasonable to do that.
Also on the diversion, the diversion portion, is this, like you talked about the education with the parents attending the bike class, does the diversion portion of this require, with the violation, a parent to attend that diversion program as well with the student?
Yes, yes, and that would be, like, it would be the same diversion program we're trying to introduce to the district, and hopefully can work with them to implement a mandatory program, but it would be the same program.
Okay, so I would recommend that we work on that as well as part of the ordinance, with the diversion requiring the parent, like, if the diversion occurs, that the parent has to attend as well.
Yes, in order to have that fine waived.
Yes.
Parent must attend with the child. And there is a current municipal code 10.52.030 that covers sidewalk riding, separate from 1056.
Right.
You mentioned that the school district is allowing kids with parents' permission to take the e-bikes to school. Do they actually sign something?
I don't believe our school district has any provision related to
doesn't?
e-bikes.
Okay.
I was referencing other districts that do. I think Yorba Linda was one of them. Huntington Beach was one of them. And believe it or not, Huntington Beach started this whole charge, and they've got cities from all up and down the state who have come to their informational meetings, and they are now putting on train-the-trainer classes for cities up and down the state.
Well, it's undoubtedly a problem. I mean, I see kids all the time, and they're so reckless. They just, they think they're
Indestructible.
Yeah, indestructible, and
Yeah,
they're
it's-
not.
I mean, we hosted a meeting, an informational meeting, and we advertised on social media, and nobody showed up. So we're gonna have to do something different. And we did reach out to the school district. One of the challenges with the school district is what they do in Chino, they also want to do in Chino Hills, and so it just takes things a little bit slower. So our goal was what we get implemented with the school district, that we have that in time and done by school year.
Listen, Chief, I think you're going to come up against some resistance with this as well. Like, there's a whole movement out there. People are just like, hey, you need to put the kids on the bikes and just let them ride.
Yeah.
And
Like a social media post and.
Right. So I I get wanting to give kids some autonomy and, some freedom with the bikes, but if you're really driving around town and paying attention to it, there are problems from an enforcement perspective that we do need to deal with. We want kids to ride their bikes. We talk about this with trucks. We're not against trucks. We want them to stay on the truck route. We don't want them to be overloaded. We want kids to ride their bikes. We just want them to do it in a safe and proper manner and to be good stewards of their community and the vehicle code. So this is it's a problem.
Well, it is, and that's not, I mean.
In the parks and riding through the grass and
Right,
everything
and to have,
else,
I
yeah.
mean, really, I'd rather not have my officers writing tickets to 14-year-olds for bikes.
Absolutely.
But the counter side is they're getting seriously hurt or hurting other people.
Mhm.
And that's where, it's obviously the money, the fine, well, then that's where that diversion comes in. Then, okay, instead of paying the fine, now you and your parent or guardian have to go sit in a class for 4 hours or whatever it comes out to.
I would not want to delay this for you so that you have an enforcement tool. So I personally would say, I trust you to remove the language allowing it legally to ride on a sidewalk. But also, if I personally was riding a bike or an e-bike, there's streets I don't want to be on. I would want to be on a sidewalk. But I don't think we should say it's legally allowed, but I would leave it at the discretion of the officers. I mean, obviously, if you have a kid going to school and he's going down Central Avenue, you don't want him in the traffic, right? So I would say, give him grace and let him ride on the sidewalk. But this is a real problem, not only in our city, but everywhere. And I cannot believe parents just turn their kids loose, little kids on these e-bikes, no helmets or anything, and then they cluster together with 3 or 4 of them, and then it's a little gang, and they're trying to outdo each
Well,
other.
let's remember, the majority, like the ones doing the wheelies and everything else, those are not electrical, those are motorcycles. And those are flat out, they're not of any of those classifications, they're flat out illegal. And so that's a big problem, but they get lumped into like they're electric bikes, they're not electric bikes.
Right.
And then we've been doing enforcement, and we've impounded those already.
But I really, counsel, I would not want to delay this because it gives them a tool. I would trust our attorney and the officers to remove any reference to illegally riding on a sidewalk and let them go forward with this, so they have a tool.
On that point, with an ordinance, we actually have to be precise as to what changes are authorized. It's not like a resolution where you could suggest changes.
Could you have it to
I
us in
could-
2 weeks?
Yeah,
No,
could you
I
have it come back?
I could read it off right now. I've been
Okay.
taking notes. And so essentially, it's section, correct me, Lieutenant, if you find something that I missed, but section 10.56.070, B as in boy, says no person shall operate a bicycle or electric bicycle on a sidewalk at a speed greater than 8 miles per hour, et cetera. So that would be removed. C also would be removed. That speaks to 5 mile per hour restriction when pedestrians or children are present. So that the rest of those subparagraphs would be renumbered. 1056.080 would be removed entirely. That's entitled Operation on Sidewalks. We'll renumber the rest of the subsections, so 1056.090 will be renumbered 080, et cetera. I believe that catches the references to sidewalks, and we just defer to state law, is the intention I'm hearing, rather than make any specific affirmative confirmation of that prohibition.
And the diversion with the parents is included?
Yeah, so just on that one for Councilman Comstock, so 10.56.130, Fred, subsection D, in lieu of a fine or citation, chief police or designee may allow a violator to complete an approved bicycle, e-bike, or
Okay.
other related safety course with a parent or guardian.
With a parent.
Okay, thank you.
One thing I didn't mention is that these are administrative sites. So they would go through our vendor who handles our truck route citations, and we already have a current fee schedule in place, so that fee schedule would apply to these as well. And then one more thing to add, we knew the sidewalk, discussion would be a source of concern. That consideration came from research from cities that have recently adopted new e-bike municipal codes. Rancho Cucamonga, Redlands, and Chino Hills are the 3 in our area that have recently updated their e-bike municipal codes. 2 of those cities allow for e-bikes to ride on their sidewalks. Chino Hills is the only one. And in speaking with Chino Hills, they did so because they felt they had adequate bike lanes present. So we knew it was going to be a source of contention, but
I would say we try it like this and see how it goes, but at least it gives you a tool.
Yeah. Well, I move to approve with the amendments.
Okay, there's a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Burton with amendments. Is there a second?
I'll make the second.
Okay, there's a second from Councilmember Lucio. Please vote.
And if I may read the title of the ordinance.
Oops, sorry.
And this will be, the second reading of the ordinance will come back with the clean version of the ordinance as we described it. Thank you, Mayor. The City Council is considering the following ordinance. Ordinance number 2026-004, entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Chino, California, amending Chapter 10.56 of the Chino Municipal Code to address bicycles, electric bicycles, motorized scooters, and regulated mobility devices. Establish regulations for the same, update enforcement, penalty, and impound provisions, and remove outdated bicycle licensing requirements. And that's being read by title only and waiving further reading. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, now please vote. Item passes unanimously. You know, when you talk about motorized scooters and regulated mobility devices, those are also electric wheelchairs. And obviously, someone that's disabled usually is on the sidewalk. So you wouldn't want to give them a ticket, right? Because you don't want them in the traffic lanes.
And I think if we've searched far enough, Mayor, there probably is an exemption for them.
I would hope so. Okay, item number 20, Senate Bill 707, updates and adoption of a disruption of service during a council meeting policy. Our report this evening will be by our city clerk, Natalie Gonzaga.
Can you send the presentation? Good evening, Mayor and council members. Happy primary election day. Just one moment. There we go. Tonight, I will provide a high-level overview of Senate Bill 707 and what this means to the Chino City Council, and recommend approval of a service disruption policy. SB 707 was signed into law last year and imposes significant changes to the Brown Act, which is California's open meeting law. These updates reflect more modern meeting practices by increasing access to our city council meetings and formalizes some changes that came out of COVID. It is important to note that this update defines an eligible legislative body as a city council with a population of 30,000 or more, and this applies only to the Chino City Council and not city commissions. Some portions of the update went into effect January 1st, with a majority of updates taking place on July 1st. This evening, I'll review some of those impacts to the City Council. Effective July 1st, the city will be required to provide an option for remote public comment by telephone or an audiovisual platform. The remote public comments will be treated the same as in-person public comments. In connection with this hybrid meeting access, we are required to adopt a meeting disruption policy. We can experience two types of meeting disruption. One is through technology, and one is by a disruption from a member of the public. SB 707 requires a policy to address the technology disruptions, and this policy is presented for your approval tonight. Historically, we have an ordinance with rules in place to address public disruptions from members of the public at our meetings. We can monitor these rules to see if updates are required, or we can revisit these at your request. The policy before you tonight addresses the steps we will take in the event of a disruption to service that prevents the public from joining the meeting remotely. We are required to pause the meeting for 1 hour or until service is restored. A scheduled closed session may occur during this recess. We can resume the meeting as soon as service is restored, or after 1 hour, we can make findings to continue without remote access, or we can adjourn the meeting until we have service. Also, effective July 1st, all city council agendas posted will be required to be posted in English and Spanish. This does not include the full agenda packet. The law does not require a certified translation, which allows the ability to quickly translate agendas through a program such as Microsoft Word. We also have a program on our website called Doc Access that allows anyone to translate the agenda document into any language. And we will be adding a location outside that is publicly accessible for the public to post their own agenda translations, a web page dedicated to information about public meetings on our website, implement a system to request agendas on our website, and make reasonable efforts for outreach for public meeting participation to underrepresented communities and non-English speaking communities. Additional updates include remote participation by city council members and the expanded reasons why you can join a meeting remotely, for example, due to illness, caregiving, or official travel. There are also ADA accommodations available, and these are outside of the traditional Brown Act teleconferencing where you are required to post the agenda at your physical location. This option is still available, the traditional option. For these participation options, our office is available to work with the City Council in advance of meetings to ensure that the just cause or any ADA accommodation requests are met. I would like to note that although there is not a fiscal impact with this policy approval, there are anticipated costs involved with the SB 707 updates, as it is an unfunded mandate. We estimate fees related to remote public comments up to $500 per month. However, we won't truly know until we start the service and see the activity. There are also significant staff hours spent tracking, researching, and implementing the requirements of SB 707. I've provided a very high-level overview of the updates by SB 707 to the Brown Act, and we are actively finalizing all updates for the July 1st implementation. Tonight, for your approval, is Resolution 2026-038 to adopt the disruption policy, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Would anyone in the audience like to address the council on this item? Seeing none, council comments or questions? Seeing none, yes, Kurt?
If order is restored before the hour is over, can we get started?
Yes.
Okay, we can. I must have missed that.
You just have to wait 1 hour.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it's resolved within 30 minutes, can we get started, or we have to wait the full hour?
Correct. You have to wait the full hour if it's not restored, but absolutely, as soon as it's restored, you can resume.
Thanks.
Anything else? Okay, I need a motion and a second then, please.
I make a motion, Mayor.
Motion from Councilperson Comstock, second from Councilperson Lucio. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Next on the agenda is mayor and council reports. Mine will be very brief. Monday, May 25th, I attended the Memorial Day event at the community building, which is always very touching and well attended. Wednesday, May 27th, I attended the noon meeting at Kiwanis. Hadn't been there for a long time. And then that afternoon, I filmed several mayor's messages. Thursday, the 28th, I participated in 2 ribbon cuttings for Oral Hershiser Chevrolet dealership. They had an absolutely enormous grand opening ceremony here, which was really well attended. I have to compliment our PD and Public Works and everyone because you guys just made it outstanding. And I understand the private security that Oral had hired, which were officers from another city, were very, very impressed with Chino PD. And I understand several of them said if they weren't close to retirement, they'd switch police departments. So congratulations to everybody. It did turn out phenomenal. And he had several Dodger players here and one absolutely gigantic basketball player. I think I came up to his waist. It was a lot of fun. That guy was crazy. Saturday the 30th, I stopped by the Chino Community Connection event at Villa Park, which was organized by Richard and Lisa Montijo. PD was there. They had a dog demonstration. I got to pick which officer had the dog. That was fun. They had a lot of different games going on, and Frances Rodella was there. It was nice to see her. I hadn't seen her in quite a while. And then I attended the Chino Valley Fire District's car show in Chino Hills. My son took Bob's car. He's continuing the tradition of having the Nomad at car shows, so that was nice. And then tonight, we had a budget workshop prior to council and then closed session. Mayor Pro Tem Burton.
Thank you, Mayor. The 18th through the 20th of May, Councilmember Lucio and I attended a Economic Development Conference, ICSC, so we were not able to attend the last council meeting. The 25th, I also attended the Memorial Day service put on by the American Legion. I absolutely loved going to that. Afterwards, I went down to the American Legion itself. They did some improvements down there. It looks really nice. They have their hall that's for rent, and it would be really nice to have some kind of function down there. 26th, I attended the ARC briefing, and then after that, I had my one-on-one with the city manager. On the 27th, I actually had my ARC board meeting. During that meeting, it was discussed, actually going back to our last meeting, council meetings or 2 council meetings ago, we had a citizen come up and request that the ARC put instructions on how to operate a cat trap at that meeting. I wish he would have gone to the ARC board meeting and requested it, but nonetheless, I'm the chairman of the ARC, so we made that request and it did happen. So that was great. After that meeting, I attended a neighborhood meeting regarding a proposed development at Mountain Riverside on the northwest corner. On the 28th, I attended the ribbon cutting for Oral Hershiser Chevrolet with my grandson. My grandson had a great time, as did I. The greatest thing for him was being able to ride down 7th Street in a golf cart. He thought that was pretty cool. I attended the CDA finance meeting after that. And then on the 1st, my one-on-one with the city manager, which brings us to today, the council budget workshop, closed session after that, and now the council meeting. I'd also like to congratulate Anna Yarito on 35 years of dedicated service to the city. Long time, and I appreciate everything she has done for this community. She's really amazing. And lastly, I'd like to say and wish happy birthday to our city attorney, Fred Galante.
Thank you, sir.
And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Okay, Councilmember Flores.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. I think you skipped Councilmember Comstock.
You're right. Excuse me. Councilmember Comstock.
The mayor is reading my mind because I'm going to pass on my council report in the interest of having to use the ladies' room. So smart reading there.
Councilmember Flores.
Okay. Well, I'll pass on my report as well, Mayor. And I think the one thing I do want to say is I noticed your nails today, Mayor. I love your nails. She has the LA Dodgers sign on them. I didn't know you were a Dodger fan, so yeah. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Councilmember Lucio.
I guess in the interest of time, I will also forego my report.
Out of respect for Karen going potty.
Sorry.
City Manager Reich.
No report.
But happy birthday, Fred.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Fred.
birthday,
Do you
Fred.
have a report?
So I was going to speak about the Supreme Court case on this Federal Civil Voting Rights Act that came down a few weeks ago, but I can postpone that till the next meeting. There's no rush.
Karen,
but
can you wait
the-
2 minutes?
I can.
Okay, go ahead, Fred.
That's why I
The short story, I'll keep it short. As much as I normally would like to put legalese in it, and much to your city manager's dismay, the basic point is that the Supreme Court found that in response in this Calais versus Louisiana Supreme Court case found that the creation of a voting district that was specifically aimed to benefit a certain class is not allowed, essentially. And it turns back decades and decades of authority in this regard. What the Supreme Court's decision basically leaves the Voting Rights Act at is you need to demonstrate intentional discrimination against or preference, either discrimination or preference against towards a certain class of people. You may recall there's some of these lawyers that went around to cities that basically just argue that there is a disparate impact to minority classes, and in light of the Supreme Court case in California in the Santa Monica case, it confirmed that you basically have a very low threshold to demonstrate that there has been a disparate impact on minority voting classes. So this case from the Federal Civil Voting Rights Act perspective really undoes a lot of that, and there are theories that it may trickle down to the state's Voting Rights Act because they are arguably in conflict with that decision. So
Gerrymandering to emphasize one particular political party now is illegal. They can't do it anymore.
well, they can as to a party. This is as to a class of people, race. And it has to, you now need to demonstrate that there's an intent to create this impact on a certain race, ethnicity, race,
Okay.
national origin, those kind of things. And political parties are not.
Don't count.
Yeah, that's not the focus.
Interesting. Okay.
So we'll keep monitoring, and I suspect cities that reluctantly switched over may be looking at their legal options. That's all I have.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any director reports this evening?
Good evening, Mayor. I have a quick update. I think this is just so that the public may also know. The Euclid relinquishment have gone through, and it's been complete. And now it's our turn to send an invoice to Caltrans so they could pay us $18.9 million. So
right.
we're very pleased to report that. And another happy note is we got a $500,000 planning grant for a sustainable transportation grant, which includes us looking at connecting trails and different modes of transportation. So we're pleased to announce that we were notified this week that we received a $500,000 grant. So we are looking forward to what we could do to looking at all of our transportation networks and also trails and accessibility for recreational access points and such.
I can tell you where you can start.
Yeah, so that's just not only for council, but for the public, that it's a good news.
Good news. Chief Menson.
Jackie.
Oh, Jackie has something. The New York girl.
Yes, one more director's report. I just wanted to say thank you to our city council and to our staff for supporting our businesses here in Chino. We have had a rush of new businesses coming in. That is due to our city's efforts that run interdepartmentally in supporting our businesses and attracting new businesses to our city. So many of you mentioned the Oral Hershiser event. That was an interdepartmental collaboration with our police police department, with our public works, and of course our community services, parks and recreation team, who we can't do events of this magnitude without them. Of course, our economic development team, and we offered that in partnership through our Welcome to Chino program. This was probably the biggest ribbon cutting that we probably ever had in the city. I don't know if anybody can think of one that was bigger, better, or more fun. So just wanted to say thank you, because we get to do what we do and support our businesses here in Chino because you allow us to do so. So thank you, and thank you to our whole team, and thank you to our city manager. She doesn't like to get recognition, so she's going to look at me in a weird way, but something's happening in Chino, and there's something happening in our business community. Just this week alone, we're also going to have, I always say it improperly because of my Spanish accent, but tacos over in, over in the shopping center, Stater Brothers Shopping Center off of Euclid and Schaefer. They'll be having their grand opening tomorrow, and then we also have Angry Chicks, which is a chicken sando shop that will be opening later this week over in the Preserve. So many more businesses coming. We're excited about more announcements, and we'll do a better job of making sure that everybody knows all the great things that are coming here in Chino. Thank you.
Right. You know, along those lines, at the Hershiser event, City Hall lawn was packed. And a couple of the ball players that were here made a comment that they couldn't believe the turnout of the city on a Thursday. They were absolutely impressed and said, "Oh my Lord, what would this have been like if it had been on a Saturday?"
Yeah,
They
there
were
was
really
a lot of
impressed.
planning and a lot of thought about the timing. A lot of businesses were supported. You all saw Royalty Cakes online. If you saw some of those things that were posted, they did an amazing cake that looked like the building. So there's a lot of synergy that's happening here in our business community, and that's exactly what we want to see. So thank you.
The way the community comes out and supports is just amazing.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jackie. Chief Menson. No report, Mayor. Chief Williams.
Sorry, just real quick, I did mention, I think 2 meetings ago, that we were successful in getting the state Supreme Court to not hear the case related to ambulances. We are slated to go on October 1st. I did want to mention to the council and to the community, we did have a ribbon cutting today for the Valley Communication Center. It's where OES, the Sheriff's Department, and Confire will all be co-located in this beautiful state-of-the-art building down in San Bernardino. Myself and my board members were there today. We're really excited to just add another layer of commitment and dedication to the community. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Okay, with that, we will adjourn to our regular meeting, excuse me, on Tuesday, June 16th at 2 o'clock. Oh, my Lord. 6 o'clock with closed session no earlier than 4. We are adjourned.